on the set in 3, 2, 1, going live.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of HB Unplugged. I'm Mel Craig.
And I'm Don Ramsey.
And we got, this city's rocking because we got Mayor Pat Burns on board with us today. So let's give him a big hand and rock and roll.
Here, present.
Here's the cool thing. You get a mulligan. Because everybody out there, we did an episode with Pat just about a month ago, and it got messed up. Somehow it got corrupted and stuff. So Pat gets a mulligan, man. He gets to this is a redo.
Yeah, he kind of gets to rehash everything.
So he messed up the whole last show, but now
he gets to rethink all his answers.
Now he'll make himself look really good.
I never think about my answers. That's a problem.
Yeah, so
Till it's too late.
Well, the cool thing is, because of this, I learned a lot more about you since we did that podcast show. I learned, I won't tell them that part. I'll keep it clean, I promise you. So, Pat, you're the mayor of Huntington Beach this year. So,
yes, I am.
Let's start off with that. You've been, on board since
December. Yeah, the first week of December.
Yeah, and you were handed a lot of cool stuff, but now you're the mayor. And what's it like? What's it like being the mayor? And how's the city looking? And
it's cool. It's just another job, part of council, and busy. I'm always busy, but it's just because I make myself busy. Yeah. There's always stuff coming up, people calling with different projects, ideas, and try to carry them through.
Yeah,
He's been on Fox News.
Going all
with this shirt.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and the other one too, the blue one, blue with the big white flowers.
Sanders
Smith
Surfing Walk of Fame.
Well, let's get into that because you're not only the mayor. I mean, you're like, I look at a lot of people in Huntington Beach. Don and I, watch all the different leaders, and you play a huge role besides being the mayor of Huntington Beach. Starting off with your family, I mean, you got a big family. You got 2 daughters.
Yeah, 2 daughters.
And a wife. That's cool.
Yeah, 37 years.
Wow, fantastic, yeah. And you come from a big family.
Yeah, 4 brothers, and then my dad remarried. I had 3 sisters and another brother. He was my best friend when my mom split, and then my dad got with his mom, and everything was cool.
Nice.
So really, this is really cool, which I didn't know how long you've been surfing. Not only that, but I had no idea. You literally traveled the world surfing.
Yeah, I've been to a few places. I like travel, but surfing, I had to get away.
Yeah.
My wife would see that look in my eye, and she'd just go, "You got to get out of town." And she would.
But you started traveling way before you got married, right? Surfing.
Yeah, I've always traveled, but it was always Mexico though.
Oh yeah,
high school and stuff.
Yeah,
K38,
go down. Yeah, K38, K39.
Yeah.
And street tacos and Coronas. Yeah.
What was it?
Lobster was cheap back then.
What was that? Bar in
Who Songs?
Who Songs?
Yeah,
there it is.
Look at Don. Right on.
I remember when
and Frogs. It was a big one down there.
In the gosh dang, now I'm dating myself. When the main hotel in the town before you go into
Rosarito.
Rosarito Hotel. Yeah. The hotel was a dirt floor.
Oh yeah, that's insane.
Rosarito Beach Hotel. Been there a couple times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what are some of the places you surfed?
Indo, couple times.
That's Indonesia, right?
Yeah, Indonesia, a couple times on boat trips.
Oh yeah.
Through the
Maldives.
No, not Maldives. Oh man, I can't believe I'm forgetting some of these names.
Well, that's because you're getting old.
Yeah. But Indonesia, and then I've gone to Tavarua once or twice, and then Salvador.
Oh, Salvador! Wow.
Yeah.
San Salvador.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hawaii. Geez, I did about 20 times. I used to go every winter. I loved it.
Yeah.
But it was the worst thing you could do for your winter surfing here.
Oh yeah. You don't surf once you surf in 75 to 80 degree water in January in Hawaii, and I'm not
perfect.
Perfect.
Big
wave after
clean, big, warm water.
Yeah.
Oh man! Then you sit here and you go, okay, I'll go out in that 2-foot freezing water.
Yeah.
And put on a wetsuit.
It's like being to Australia and surfing a couple spots there. The water is like unreal, warm as can be, and you surf waves. One wave is like forever. You just surf it
wow.
for a minute and a half,
Snappers.
2 minutes. Yeah. And you just, and then you come back here and you're going, oh God, what the hell am I got to surf on now? Yeah.
5-second wave stuff.
Yeah. We get spoiled, we get spoiled.
We still have good surf here. Don't be knocking the surf
No,
in
I'm
Huntington
not, no.
Beach. We have good waves. We get some great waves here.
Oh, no.
We do. I mean, it's not great all the time, but when it's good, it's good.
Robert August once said, he said, look, the reason Huntington Beach is so popular with the surf culture is because there's always waves.
Yeah.
It's more consistent in Huntington Beach, pretty much any surf break.
I saw Robert August in Costa Rica.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's living down there.
Yeah.
I guess he's sick now. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah,
he's
he's sick.
He's really doing bad, I guess. Yeah.
But bottom line is, I wouldn't live anyplace else.
Oh yeah, no, never.
Huntington Beach. I always came back here. I love surfing Hawaii, Mexico, but when you come back home, and I'm stoked. I'm back home.
And the cool thing is, you go paddle out, then you go home.
Yeah.
Shower, clean up, and in the afternoon you want to go catch evening swell. You just paddle out and go catch the evening swell. Yeah. So why don't we talk a little bit about all the events, and you're sitting on boards, you're sitting on chairs like Don. You guys are sitting on the chair of this, sitting on the board of directors for that. So why don't we kind of capitalize on that a little bit?
Oh, God. Outside, well, within the city, of course, I'm mayor, but then we're part of a lot of different liaisons to the different boards, like the Harbor Commission.
Right, yeah.
And things like that.
We'll talk about the Huntington Beach first, and then we'll capitalize a little bit on the others. Because one of the things we learned about Kelly Miller is how much we're involved and how much he's actually been involved in getting the Olympics here.
Yeah, we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of rumors, and we're kind of in a holding pattern
Yeah,
on if
we'll
we're going to get that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, the good news is we are going to get the beach volleyball, and this is I mean, I'm so pro Huntington Beach being in the 2028 Olympics and having surfing competition here, but it just, in my mind, common sense that if we're going to have the beach volleyball competition here on the north side of the pier, it makes it even better to have the north side of the pier also for the surfing competition.
Yeah,
You're already going to have a lot of that.
You want both sides on 11 on north side?
Yes. Well, one's going to be in the water. Yeah. Well, the north side of the pier, if we do get the 2028 Olympics here, the competition will be on the north side of the pier. That's already been said, and that is the spot, and that's what would draw us to be picked would be surfing on the north side of the pier, because it's the best wave in town, and it's the most consistent wave, and that's what we want to have. But we'll see. But now that this happened yesterday, and I was all over the news about it, and I've called a couple of people, and they're excited too. I mean, it just stands to reason. Why would we not be picked now? Because the infrastructure that it's going to take to get NBC News and sports and all that, I mean, it's
here.
Yeah, but it's no easy deal paying all that money to get all that infrastructure in. And now that we're going to have the volleyball competition,
volleyball,
it stands to reason. Well, we got the stuff right there. Let's also do the surfing competition.
Yeah, unreal.
I mean,
so 30 years, some odd years here in Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Raised your family.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah. I'll drag it out of you. Keep coming.
Yeah, no. No, I love it. I was
Pat's a
living-
man of few words, so you really got to push hard to get him. You got to push hard to get him to say something.
Well, I forgot we've already talked. We haven't.
I remember a 4th of July parade. Everyone called him up. Hey, Pat, come up on the truck, the big truck, and we gave you the last parade. Say a few words. You go, well, thank you. Happy 4th of July. And walked off the stage. Like, all right, Pat.
Thank you for coming. Have a good time.
Yeah, have a great time. Going back to the board of directors and different chairs that you're on, let's talk about the surfing community, what you're involved in there. And you also are a member of I forget the name of the club you guys are part of, the old guys?
HB Boys.
HB Boys, yeah, the HB Boys, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a little fraternal boys club, and we get together, have a happy hour once a week, and golf twice. We go away for golf tournaments twice a year, and other deals once a month. Get together for lunch, but there's only about 40 of us.
That's cool. Yeah.
It's a cool deal.
Oh yeah, it was when I was at the inauguration night. Man, all those guys were there. I was like, "What's going on?" And they all walked down, and Pat's all like,
"I like the shirts they were wearing. Everybody's wearing that shirt. Well, I'm going to get one of that."
Yeah, every year we get one of the Rain Spooner Christmas shirts.
Oh yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah.
I was like, "Look at that, Pat's got a following, man." You're up on stage going, "Yeah, this is our group, man. These are our guys. We're the dudes.
We're a bunch of old dudes, man.
Hey, surf. Yeah, as long as you keep surfing in your blood, no matter what, that's what it's all
But
about.
I'm also part of the Elks. Elks, I love. Elks, I've been a member for 10, going on 11 years. And they do so many good things in the community that kind of go unnoticed. They're really good to the veterans and then homeless kids, and they're all about those two. And,
You mean charity events and
charity
things like
events. Yeah, they're saying is something like where there's a veteran in need, there will be an elk.
that? Wow.
Yeah,
Unreal.
they're cool.
Isn't the Elks? No, that's the Shriners. Do they drive around the little go-karts?
Yeah, that's
the Shriners. Yeah. But the Elks, they're big here in Huntington Beach.
Oh, yeah,
they're
right
over on
in-
Talbert.
Yeah, I drive right by there to go shoot my guns at the firing line. Yeah, they're right there. It's a big
Yeah,
one.
Christmas, they have a Christmas Eve, I want to say. They have a huge motorcycle ride that goes to a couple of orphanages in Orange County, and they have like 400 motorcycles come in, gather in the Elks Lodge parking lot, and then they go on a ride.
They
to
take all these Christmas presents in their Santa bags.
Yeah, but they have like 4 truckloads,
Yeah.
and these 400 motorcycles take off. It's
Unreal,
pretty
yeah.
awesome.
You know, one of the things that everybody always is asking us now about, especially getting emails and things, is we put on a lot of events in the city. And a lot of people don't realize just how difficult it is to put on an event. You know, whether it's a car show, Ramsey puts on a badass car show on the pier, or, you know, the Christmas parade or 4th of July parade or the U.S. Open, kind of highlight, you know, really, a lot of people want to
air
know,
show.
yeah, what does it really take to put on an event? What does it, you know, cost and time and energy, and who's involved in putting on these big events?
Yeah, a lot of times, some of these things, you got to involve the Coastal Commission, and then you got all these other controlling agencies. But Donna know more about it than I did. He's arranged some more of these things than I ever been part of getting into. And it's hopefully on the city side, we make it as easy as possible, but I can't.
Issuing the permits and things like that.
Yeah, just working with the groups that want to do something that's stoked for the neighborhood or the community. Why make it more difficult?
Right.
I hope that we make it easier, but
So Don, how hard is it to put on an event?
Well, okay, you got to remember.
and then you got to establish it.
Yeah. Most of the events have been established. You think about the U.S. Open, the 4th of July parade, even the small
Air
Christmas
show.
parade that the Huntington Beach Youth Shelter puts on. That's been put on for years. And you just kind of follow suit with your responsibility for that. Like me growing up here since 1963 in Huntington Beach, the 4th of July event has always been my #1 favorite event. And to be on the executive board for that these days is nothing short of the best thing that I do. I do a lot of great stuff, but the 4th of July is my best event. So when we get together, our consultant now, and I've had her on here, we've talked to her, Stacy Newton.
Stacy, yeah.
Just to get her involved. This is her 26th parade. So a lot of the people that do these events, they've been doing them for years and years. And as far as the 4th of July goes, everybody has their job to do. We all know what that is, and we just follow through because we've done it before. And if you haven't, the person in front of you always shows you what you need to do, and this is how it's done, and it just carries forward like that. And most of the events that I do are like that. We talk about all the Cowabunga Van Clan on the Huntington Beach Pier. It's a lot of work. I take care of probably 90% of it, getting everybody involved. But the city has kind of just, they've welcomed it with
Embraced it big time.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's an awesome event.
Look what it brings.
I mean, it's the only event that's ever occupied the entire pier in 120 years. It's the only event the city allows, other than the 4th of July fireworks on the pier. On the pier. But so the city does make it easy, like he was saying, only because they realize the value of carrying and doing events like that. The Surf City Marathon, it's gone on for like 27th year. I think the next one is our 28th year. Actually, it's going to be our 30th year.
yeah.
So
I was
on
gonna
these
say.
big events, do these big event coordinators, guys like Kevin Elliott, people who are putting on the event, do they have to go through the same thing every year to get the event going, or is it
to
like
some degree,
They do.
but there's a format so it's kind of repetitive, so they kind of know the timing and everything that they go through, and I'd like to see it kind of more solid, like with the air show, kind of more set in stone, long term, so it's not such a because sometimes you don't know positively what everything's going to go on until the 11th hour.
Right.
Like you got 2 months for the air show. It's like, wait a minute.
We should have had this all planned out prior.
A year ago, yeah.
Well, okay. The thing with the air show, so this year, October, first weekend in October, it'll be the 8th year of the air show. And because the amount of people that attend it and everything that happens with, just the economy and what it brings to our town, at this point, the city would be nuts to say, well, we've changed our minds, we're not going to do it anymore. That's, I don't think, ever going to happen because they realize how big it got. Same thing with the U.S. Open. It started in 1959, every year since then. And now it's considered the largest surf contest in the world. Happens here during that last week of in July, running to the first weekend in August.
The Independence Day Parade. I get stoked every year on that.
Yeah.
I think it is so awesome that our whole community and outside communities come and gather and celebrate that. And then Joe's bike ride. This year it's going to be the day after or 2 days after.
Ed's bike ride.
It happens the day after.
Ed's,
the 4th of July is on a Friday, and then the bike parade and block party is happening all together on Friday the 5th.
Yeah.
The Ramsey brothers are playing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Who?
The Ramsey. Those guys. Those rock and roll drug addict, sex, drug, and rock and roll guys. We know that. The reason I ask this question is because I get calls all the time. People want to have a car show in Huntington Beach. It's a place. And because I was successful in having hot rods and stuff like that, I get a lot of phone calls. People say, "Hey, do I have to get a permit? What do I have to go through?" And I can't. I don't work for the city. I had to do what I had to do to get things for my events done. So that's why I asked that question, because a lot of people call and say, "Hey, man, do I have to get a permit? How do I do it? What do I do?"
Well, every weekend they have Derelict Donuts, and I don't think they have a permit.
Oh, no. Yeah.
But then just last week they had helicopters and hot rods. Hot rods and helicopters.
Yeah, but they permitted all that.
Bitching.
Oh, it's a brand new event.
Oh, they just capitalized on the other event.
Yeah.
The quarantine cruise. Really.
Yeah.
This one was for the POA Foundation.
It actually sold out within 1 week.
It did.
Heck made one phone call to Sean Davis for the quarantine crew head guy works for the quarantine.
Oh.
And so he made one phone call. "Hey, can we get some cars?" That was it. Sean goes, "How many you want?" I mean, so he puts the word out, and it was like sold out that fast. I called Don because, Alan Silverman and Dennis Gallagher wanted to get their cars in, and they go, "Mel, can you help us out?" I go, "Well, let me see if I can pull some strings." I was getting to the point where, no, but then I guess they opened up one additional row or one length of section, and they brought in a bunch more cars. So Alan got his in, and that was to see those cars. There was some nice classic vintage cars showing up. I was really stoked.
I lean more towards the classic cars than those hot Maseratis.
Yeah, me too.
All that. I mean,
cars and copters.
Yeah, I'm in awe at those cars. I mean, just the pure power involved in some of those. But man, the old classics.
Why? Because they have character.
Yeah,
that's it. They have character. It's like if you go to Orange County, some of the neighborhoods, every house is cookie cutter. But you drive through Huntington Beach, and everybody's house has, its character. These cars have character. They have something different. When you're walking from car to car, you can't help but, if you walk by 15 Ferraris, I mean, after the fifth one, you've probably seen all 15.
Yeah.
But when you walk down a row of hot rods, man, you're like, oh, wow. Or buses even. Every bus has character. It's the same bus, but every single one of them is tricked out differently.
For me, it's just amazing how the work these guys have to put in to keep them so pristine. It blows me away.
Yeah, you gotta want to turn a wrench, and you gotta want to polish and tinker, and that's important when you're a hot rodder. That's for sure. It definitely takes a little bit of extra work to make sure they always look like that.
Hey, last thing while we're on this thing about events, the number one thing the city does look for if you're planning on doing an event is risk management. Because there's so many liabilities involved, and that's one thing that I was
bet
taught
you more,
in the early days. Risk management. Run it through that filter. Everything you're going to do, and figure out ways that there could be a problem or someone could get hurt or whatever, and make sure none of those things happen by how you're going to do your event. And when I first started doing my events, I was taught early on risk management, and
Explain that. What is risk management?
Risk management is, like I said, because people are sue happy, and if there's a way that they can get around,
Trip over a cord or
something,
minimize the crap that can happen.
And the city gets sued, it's because you didn't do a good enough job figuring out all the liabilities that are involved, and then the city wants that eliminated. And when you show that you can do that, believe me, you're first rate. I mean, they understand that you understand, you know what you're doing, and you're eliminating all these risks that the city might be liable for when you're doing your event.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I bet it got even more intense after this past pandemic, and all the riots and stuff. I bet it's pretty intense. I mean, you just can't have an event anymore. At a lot of the big events, I'm amazed that when I see up on the roofs SWAT guys and they're like, whoa, man, they're not. There's no more playing games anymore.
Well, in this day and age, you got to be for any kind of terrorist activity.
All that changed when that guy in Las Vegas at the Mirage Hotel killed all those people at a country and western concert.
Concert.
What happened was
my son was there.
Homeland Security got involved with all the events, and that's what changed how we do the 4th of July, because there's that many people. The city wants to be, nobody running into the venue. That's why the streets are all blocked now. There's sharpshooters on 3-story houses and the hotels, and that happens through the air show. Any large event like we do, and I'm talking where we have
big
hundreds of thousands of people. Those undercover marshals, you'd be surprised how many of them are
walking into the crowd.
Walking in the crowd.
I believe it. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah. Speaking of that, you got a hell of a resume when it comes to law enforcement.
Yeah, I had a good career.
Yeah,
I was pretty stoked. I was very blessed.
You became a cop
career.
when you were 20 years old.
Yeah,
and it just skyrocketed from there. I mean, I don't think there's anything you haven't done in law enforcement.
Well, I did a good 7 years
flying in helicopters. I mean, let's talk about that.
Well, the 7 years in patrol, I had good time in patrol. I mean, you get exposed to a lot of funny ass stuff. I mean, I got a lifetime of stories that amaze you at what people will do to themselves. And
unreal.
So I'd never turn back those years in patrol. But then I went to helicopters for 3.5 full time, and then about another 10 plus years relief. And during that time, I was in undercover dope, and then I also as a sergeant. When I promoted, I went back to patrol. And that was cool because I had about 20 years on. I was kind of one of those older, chubbier dudes, and watching those young kids do their patrol thing, I loved it. I actually got a cool kick out of watching the young guys doing it, and putting myself back in those years. But I was good with them doing it and me watching.
Yeah.
So I was at peace with that, and then lieutenant, that was cool.
And what forces? What cities?
Just Long Beach.
Oh wow.
Long Beach.
Long Beach. Long Beach. Man, that place that's Gangsterville right now. It's
it's got nice areas too, though.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, it does. Very nice. Yeah.
But it's great because you can kind of choose. I liked working. I never minded getting dirty. I wasn't very good admin dude, so I loved working.
So besides being mayor, what are you doing now?
Being mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe it. When I do get a chance, like I clean my pool, mow my yards, and do that stuff, or go to my kid's house.
You're starting to enjoy life.
Well, I got 11-month-old grandbabies.
Wow, so congratulations on that. Yeah.
Yeah, super stoked on that. She's doing so good. She's just not a little whiner. She's a gamer, man. She doesn't mind. She'll roll right off the edge of the couch onto the floor and just look at you and laugh. And so she's a tough kid, and I'm looking forward to getting her tougher.
All right, that's cool, man. Fantastic. Don, you got anything more to add or say?
Oh, God. I mean, being a grandparent, just like he says, it's watching them grow up and just like...
It's happening so fast.
Fall off the couch and just turn back over. Yeah, let's do it. I mean...
Well, two of your grandsons are pretty tough.
Oh, yeah, both of my grandsons, watching them grow up here in Huntington Beach. And, they don't like to be around me sometimes when I'm in all these events I do, because I know so many people. I'm always saying hello and all this.
And they're like, come on, let's go. No, you're stopping every 5 minutes.
I'll tell you a quick story. We're at the Surf City Nights, and my 10-year-olds with my daughter and me, and we're walking down the street, walking down Main Street, and I'm saying to all these hi to all these people, and my grandson looks at me and goes, "Grandpa, if you stop and say hello to another person, I'm leaving." So we're walking down the beach, and I'm not stopping. I'm seeing people, and I'm just walking. Then all of a sudden, this band's playing, and the drummer is on the mic. He goes, "Hey, there's Don Ramsey." Yeah. And my grandson looks up at me and I'm out of here. And took off.
He just said hello to 1,000.
Yeah, he doesn't walk up and down any street without everybody stopping and talking to him. I've been with him. It's like, all right, let Don go. I'm going to go this way because everybody's yapping at him. There's not anybody either of you guys don't know.
Well,
I mean, it's what
maybe we can fool him into running for council.
Yeah. I don't know.
If I was on the council, I always tell people this because they've mentioned that to me. Believe me, I couldn't do all the stuff I get to do in Huntington Beach if I was on the city.
That's right.
Yeah,
so
it'd stop you.
It ain't happening.
Well, you know what's cool about having you on the show, Pat, is that you're a local. And, to know the mayor of Huntington Beach is a local, it just carries the torch. For the community to know, wow, look who's sitting here. I mean, Butch, Chad, Don, they're all locals, family born and raising their kids here, going to school here.
Yeah, Casey.
Yeah.
Even Gracie was
Gracie,
right there in the harbor.
We have Casey on the show, I think next week. Yeah, next week we're going to have Casey on the show, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So have all the locals, running the city. It's like, all right, this is so cool. Yeah, it's a great way to run the city.
Well.
Who better fit?
Yeah, I don't really, that mayor thing, I'm just Pat.
Yeah.
Just Pat.
We know.
Mr. Mario. Oh, no, don't call me that.
Yeah, or the thing that always grosses me out is when they say, "Oh, the Honorable Mayor Pat Burns." Honorable? What the hell? What politician, gets honorable, just give it to him, man. You better earn that.
My neighbor who was on the Long Beach, who knew Pat, Andy.
Oh, yeah.
I'd see him yesterday, and so where I live, we live at the end of Slater and Graham.
Right.
And Graham actually goes right behind Andy's house, right to the Balsa Chica Reserve. Yeah. And I'm 2 doors down from the reserve. Andy's like 3 or 4 doors down from the Balsa Chica Reserve. But his house is backed up to that street. And so we have cars racing up and down that street doing Brodies and all this other stuff. And
Not
he
so
got
much
sick
now.
and tired of it. And, he just said, "Don, I'm going to do something about it." And this happened about a month ago. The city came in and put these barriers down the middle of the street so these guys can't do these Brodies. And we've already had 3 car accidents alone
because they're hitting them.
Yeah, this is before them, but they're hitting the curbs, and 2 guys have hit light poles. I mean, the car
Yeah,
accident.
they're doing donuts.
Yeah. Taking over interstate. I've seen all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that happens on the street, but no more. Believe me.
Because he put something there to stop it.
The city put a stop to it, but I know it was Pat, helped out with that because it was getting even on our side of the street. My wife says to me, "What is that noise?" I go, "It's someone on Graham doing Brodies in the street."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got a soft voice, but I guarantee when you speak, people listen. I know you. I know you're very good at making a point and making it stick.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I can talk, but I don't think people want to hear everything
that you have to say.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
what you do?
There's too much talking.
There's a lot to be said for that. You don't have to be talking all the time. That's what I do too much. I talk too much. You talk too little. Yeah.
What are they saying? God gave you 2 ears, 1 mouth.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
I was told, "Don't fall in love with the sound of your voice." So,
Yeah. That's a good one.
That's not a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Also, so you're riding in the 4th of July parade?
Yeah, I don't know. Any special car?
Yeah. Put him in a bus.
No. Actually, he's riding in Jim Ramsey's.
Oh,
My brother's
Cavacho.
41 Chevy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the convertible.
Yeah.
In mint condition.
Yeah, it's semi-cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah,
It's
cool.
insane.
Yeah, it's cool.
I just every time I get it, I'm like looking at it going, there's not, besides the scratch Don put in it, there's
Yeah, right. My brother doesn't allow me near those cars. It's weird. I have a VW bus club, all surfers, and he's got a lowrider club called the HB
Cavachos. Yeah, I go, what the hell? And he doesn't surf and you surf. I'm thinking, I went to his house and, I took a tour of his man cave. He's got a badass garage.
Yeah.
With,
it's like a museum.
Oh, yeah,
man.
that garage is to die for. You're like, oh, this is cool. and I started asking him, I go, how the hell are you a lowrider and your brother's a surfer and a bus guy? It's just whatever, it works.
And we're in a band together.
Yeah, and you're in a band together, Ramsey Brothers.
Yeah.
Anything last you want to say, Pat, about what events are coming up, Don? Coming up soon?
Well, this weekend is
yeah.
the HSS demo days. It happens down at the Pier Plaza from like 7:30 to 3 o'clock all day Saturday. And
we're gonna have the buses.
We're going to put 20 buses down there, right where Duke's restaurant is in that area, and then from the monument all the way through the top level of the 6th Street parking lot, it's going to be all surfing vendors. The whole industry is going to be down there, and then in 2 weeks from now, on April 25th. I'm sorry, April 26th and April 27th is going to be Surfscape, which is the surfing industry. Members and
association.
Yeah. And so there'd probably be 70. SEMA. There'd probably be about 70 surfing companies down there for that event. We're putting buses down there as well.
I try to tell everybody, these are two events that you want to see the newest and greatest and the coolest stuff that's coming out on the market. These are two shows you can't miss.
Yeah,
I mean, and you start meeting some really great surfers, some good people.
The HSS event is all about Surf City, USA. Yeah. All these different brands that are right in this town of Huntington Beach. Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, how many shapers? It's insane. Yeah. Well, Pat, it was nice having you on the show.
No, thanks for having me.
This is your mulligan.
My mulligan.
Yeah, this is your mulligan. You got a second shot.
Well, scrap it again, and we can.
Yeah, do it. Keep doing it. Yeah. Pretty soon we'll get it down to a sound.
I didn't like the first one, I guess.
Yeah. No, it was really a bad mistake. I'm Mel Craig,
and I'm Don Ramsey,
and thanks for joining us for another episode of HB Unplugged. Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it. Take it easy, my friend.